Pantazi here. Today I'm going to give you a little snippet of the film we released today on the Platinum subscription on the snake Shichen. And this comes right out of the Bubishi, and it's a part of the black tiger family of attacks from the Bubishi. As you know, and as I've stated before, there's the white crane and the black tiger primarily, and the black tiger correlating to blood attacks. Now the Shichen are blood attacks, and they are listed in the Bubishi as a delayed death touch. Now I'm having a conversation with Dr. McClintock. You'll hear a couple of the snippets, you'll see a couple of the images and the depth that we're getting into. But there's so much more. This is an hour-and-a-half film, and it's also tied with the Black Tiger release, and that's just in written form right now. It's a full summary of what the Black Tiger from the Bubishi is all about. So if you want to get really deep into the Bubishi, really deep into the Kyusho, really deep into the Denmark, well, this is for you. And again, we caution people, when you learn this from the film, and it's an exclusive, it won't be published anywhere except for the Platinum service, and I'll put a link below for you. You're going to see some pretty amazing things, and it's part of the series on the living Bubishi that I'm doing, and Dr. Jacob McClintock is helping me out with the studies and his expertise in emergency room surgeries and applications. I thank him for his dedication to Kyusho and his willingness to help us along in our studies to pull facts out. Okay, and not only the doc, but in this segment we have a film clip from Joe Lewis, who correlates what we're talking about in this this filming. So you want to see that is also some live fights that target these, and whether they were purposeful or mistake, they dropped the people and caused massive damage and won the fight. So for those people that don't believe that the Kyusho can be used in a real fight, here's a couple of validations. One from Joe Lewis, arguably the best karate fighter that ever lived, and also from the boxing arena. So the karate people, if you're not taking Joe Lewis's word for it, for the regular fighters, if you're not watching this and seeing that this is real, then you need to really study some more. And this can be put in MMA, we just don't choose to do it. So keep watching, here's the clip.
Definitely. Okay, and so the last part of this, the fun part, well, it's all been fun, but the really interesting part has to do with the clinical signs that you see in intra-abdominal bleeding. Right. This. The first one is called Gray-Turner sign. So this sign is the sign that is caused by extraperitoneal diffusion of blood from the posterior perirenal space to the lateral edge of the quadratus labrum muscle, gaining access to the abdominal wall musculature through a defect in the transversalis fascia, leading eventually to subcutaneous tissue of the flank. So all that to say, it's on your flank, okay? But it has to do with defects in the musculature and the peritoneal cavity to allow the blood to get there. And what the way it presents is bands of bruising in a fashion that looks almost like snakes or a moon shadow, right? It's in a crescent and it's along the flank. You can see me. So it's
right underneath the ribs there.
Right here, and it's in little bands of bruises that are in a crescent moon shape.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's also in the shape of a snake, the snake Shichen.
Beautiful.
Right?
Nice tie-in.
Excellent tie-in. The other one is Cullen sign, and these have been around a long time. Gray Turner sign was described in 1920, and Cullen sign was in 1918. But Cullen sign is a blush of bruising around the umbilicus, umbilicus of your abdomen here, and it's just a dark, big bruise, and it has to do with tracking of blood from the retroperitoneum to the umbilicus along the gastrohepatic and falciform ligament. But basically, it makes what I would describe as a big rain cloud, a big storm cloud in your abdomen, which would correlate with lightning and thunder.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Right?
All these people that are looking at the Bubishi, I mean, they really got to take it in context with what's happening medically.
Yes.
You know, and also understand that even these small correlations that you see, whether it's called thunder and lightning or, you know, snake or whatever it's called, these little correlations have a foundation that's beyond what you would think just by reading the Bubishi. You know, this even correlates. We were talking a lot about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and applying some of the blood work on Jiu-Jitsu. You can drop an elbow into any of these targets with just body pressure and achieve that same amount of pressure to do the damage.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is it wasn't a lot of pressure, and the pressure over time, the impulse was what was important to cause the damage. A lot of validation here. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Even from Joe Louis.
Yeah. I mean, arguably the greatest karate fighter in history, you know.
And if a karate guy is going to finally listen to anybody, they should be listening to someone like Joe Louis.
Yeah, exactly.